Welcome, everybody, to Ham Radio Perspectives. I'm Tom, WA9TDD, and my cohort here is...
Quinn, K8QS, and Tom, I am so excited about this video of ours. Ham Radio Perspectives is the only ham radio channel out there, I believe, Tom, that really helps us make fun of ourselves because we need a sense of humor in this crazy world. So today we have, Tom, 10 ham radio absurdities. And I dare you to say that 10 times real fast. Absurdity, etc. And the first ham radio absurdity is talking to a guy 12,000 miles away on the other side of the globe for what? To exchange a bogus signal report. He says 5'9", you say 5'9", bam, that's it. This is crazy, Tom, but we do it all the time, and we like it.
Right, and then you try to figure out whether you're working long path or short path over 12,000 miles.
And it doesn't make a difference either way. Right.
Absurdity number 2 is spending thousands of dollars talking to the same 4 guys daily on a 75-meter net. You've optimized your antenna, your coax, your equipment, your amplifier, but it's always the same guys on the same net.
Yeah, and you could have done it for about $300 used rig and throwing up an end-fed antenna.
Right.
Oh, boy. There we go. Absurdity number 3, complaining about modern technology, you know, the internet and cell phones and all this digital stuff, AI, while using ham equipment, which is amazingly and ridiculously complicated. You get what I'm talking about here, Tom. You buy some of the new ham rigs, or you look at reviews of them. The reviews will say, I really like this rig. I like it, the sound of the audio and so on, but I can't figure out the menu system. So then they get the manual out that came with it, and it's only a partial manual. To get the full manual, you have to download the PDF, which has about 7,000 pages. It doesn't have a good index to try to figure out how to use all the features in the rig. So who are we to complain about modern technology? We are using it too.
Right. And absurdity number 4 is becoming obsessed with call signs. You know, the vanity call signs. Ooh, I got to get my vanity. I just got my ticket. I got to get my first vanity call sign. And then once you get it, the proper pronunciation and using the proper NATO phonetics. I mean, we just go nuts over this stuff. What do you think, Quinn?
Yeah, we are call sign constipated. That is my view of this. And I have to say, since I have K8QS, those are my initials, I've fallen into it too. But boy, oh boy, you know, when you and I first got licensed, this is the old days. Forgive us. We're old codgers. You got a ticket, you got the call letter, and that was your call. You tried to make up some goofy phonetics, and that was it. And today, man alive, people are waiting. Hams are waiting for other hams who have 2-letter call signs that are really good to die so they can get that call sign. That's how crazy we are. Absurd. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, well, what's so funny is I still have my first call sign.
You do?
It was and it was issued by the FCC in sequential order, and it's my initials.
And it's your initials. I love it. What are the chances of that with a 3-letter call and it's all your initials? Really? Absurdity number 5 is sounding retired when you're 22 years old. So you get your ticket, and let's say you get on sideband with it, and you start listening around to how people are speaking, and they're all speaking slowly, and they're talking about all this health stuff and all of the things that are going on in their neighborhood. And you know, George, the weather is wild today out here. Boy, it's 97 degrees. I don't think I'm going to go out there today. And, you know, in fact, I'm wondering what I'm going to do this afternoon. I think I'm just going to sit here on the rig and brew me another cup of coffee and go on. And well, after a while, you're 22 years old and you start talking like that. And talking about the same basically 4 items that all hams talk about, and you can guess what those are. Their rigs, their antennas, the signal strength, and the weather. That's it. And if you're stuck in those, get out of it, man.
Right. Absurdity number 6 a hurricane came through, a tornado came through, and it blew down your TA-33 classic beam, so you threw up a temporary antenna. It's only supposed to be here until I can collect my insurance and put up something better. Well, guess what? That temporary antenna works just as well, if not better, than what you had up there. And eventually you never replace it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Most hams will throw up a temporary antenna, and if it works halfway well, they're not going to take it down. So I bet you 40% of hams out there are working with antennas that were temporary, that worked well enough that they said, I'll leave it, I'm lazy, I don't want to fix it anyway. So temporary antennas never get replaced, but that's not bad, Tom.
Right.
Because then it's less likely that we're going to hurt ourselves by doing something terrible trying to get antennas up high. Right. So let's go to the ham radio absurdity number 7, which is memorizing FCC regulations, the rules of the game, so to speak, and you have to do that to get your ticket and all. But then you quickly forget about all of them. You don't know what the rules are. You don't know if you have to ID every 10 minutes, and you don't know if you can ID with just giving your own call, or can you sign off with another station and just give your own call, or do you have to give both calls? And it goes on and on. How close to the end of the band can you get? Here's a good one for you. Do you remember that one? I tell you, Tom, I think the FCC regulations, there are enough of those out there that the vast majority of hams probably don't know 80% of them. And you know what? It probably doesn't make any difference. We just ought to throw them out of the rules.
Right. And absurdity number 8 is conversing slowly with endless repetition. Yeah, you're 599 here, armchair copy. Sounds like you're sitting right in the shack here with me. Yeah, but you got a great audio. It's you got a good signal in here. On and on and on. And you turn it over to
turn it over to the other station.
You turn it over to the other guy, and he's repeating the same thing.
Right. Thank you for the 5.9. I appreciate that 5.9. You know, I've been getting a lot of 5.9s lately, and your 5.9 is another one of those 5.9s. And by the way, 5.9's back at you. 5.9's all the way around, gang. I tell you, it's a 5.9 day. And so repeat. By the way, my name is Quinn. That's Quinn. If you didn't hear it, it's Quinn, Quin. That's Queen Uniform India November. If you don't like those phonetics, I'll give you different ones. But my name is Quinn. Quinn, not 2 N's, just 1 N. Quinn. I hope you got that, Tom. Go ahead. Back to you.
Right.
So endless repetition. Okay, so here's ham radio absurdity number 9. Using space hardware. Space, going up into space. Okay, and all kinds of crazy antennas and software. We're bouncing off the moon, or we're talking to a space shuttle, or we're doing something out there in outer space, you know, where all the ETs live and all. And what are we saying? Hi, 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 hi. That's what we're saying, the equivalent of hi. Hi there, hi there, hi there, hi there. No substance to the communication. It's just the excitement of going through space.
Right, and you're communicating with the International Space Station, and you have 23 seconds in order to communicate before it passes out, and you're trying to follow the Dopplers on it.
But those 23 seconds are the most exciting 23 seconds of your life.
Right.
All right.
Absurdity number 10 is collecting endlessly trivial awards just to post them on your QRZ page. You ever go to a QRZ page and you're scrolling through your new contact, and he's got like 15 different awards for really ridiculous stuff, you know. I work POTA, I work SOTA, I work IOTA, and I've got it's just incredible. You can't get to the substance of the QRZ page without wading through all their awards.
Yeah, and it's not just the QRZ awards, it's all kinds of awards. And you look at pictures of people's shacks on QRZ, and the wall is loaded with awards, you know? And so your neighbor comes over and looks at that and says, what's all that stuff up on the wall? And you say, oh, those are all the great awards I have. Like I worked all countries on on 17 meters. Oh, you did? What's 17 meters? Yeah. How do you count a country? How many countries are there? Oh, I haven't thought about that, but ham radio knows. We love awards. It used to be, Tom, in the days of QSLs, we would put QSL cards up.
Right.
And that was exciting when the neighbors came over, because you could say, here's my contact with the chief of this tribe in Swaziland, which is a little bit different than the awards. At any rate, there's nothing wrong with awards. We're just saying there are some of these absurdities that we really get into, and that's part of ham radio. And without absurdities, ham radio would not be as much fun or as humorous. Right. And so we're good. We're good to go with absurdities, and we've got more to talk about in some other videos as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe, post comments down below. If you think there are new awards that should be out there that are not given yet, like working somebody both directions around the pole, that would be a good one. How many people can you work backwards and forwards, to put it that way? We'll see what we can do and get those approved by the ARRL or QRZ or somebody. So see ya, everybody. My name's Quinn, K8QS.
And I'm Tom, W8INTDD.
And this is the one and only Ham Radio Perspectives YouTube channel, which is itself a bit of an absurdity. 7-3.